It's more than just a flashy play. It's an art form that combines finesse, agility, and perfect timing. From Tim Hardaway's legendary UTEP two-step to Allen Iverson's iconic crossovers, the NBA has seen some true masters of this craft. Number 8. Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway, the timeless point guard who played for the Golden State Warriors, 1988 to 1994, used the crossover dribble to perfection and gained worldwide recognition for this signature move. The crossover dribble's subsequent popularity can be attributed to him. His trademark crossover, which went through a UTEP two-step, revolutionized the world of dribbles, adding Mr. Crossover. Agility is the main reason. It is really a necessary duty in a battle zone. The elegant and deceitful moves he used to pass made it impossible for his opponents to take a breath. Hardaway's unique influence on the game must be looked beyond. It was his dribbling technique that became the first for him in further generations of players who first mastered the art of quickly getting into different directions to score. In his move, a new quality of this weapon caused other players to come up with advancing it into the lethal offensive weapon present today. Number 7. Allen Iverson, the iconic crossover artist. Allen Iverson, whose shot-making characteristics was any basketball fan's dream interpretation, is known as the influencer of shooting guards such as D. Brown, who played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Iverson's crossover was the meanest cut in the NBA back then, that it was simply called the Iverson move. Iverson's moves that included lightning speed, quick side naps, and absolutely canny attitude made him a king of defense for any opponent. Iverson's famous crossover dribble was not, but that did not stop it from being at the receiving end of a lot of flack. Critics accused him of carrying the ball, but Iverson's response was simple. If you can't guard me, I don't care. This talent of his to break ankles and surprise everyone by his efficiency on the field made him one of the most appealing players in the game back then, and its effects are still felt in the present players. Number 6. Deron Williams, the smooth operator. Deron Williams, who at the time was an all-star guard for the then Utah Jazz, became the latest trendsetter in the basketball world based on his crossover dribbling technique. A move was done by Williams was so smooth, it appeared like she had conjured up poetry. The guy, Neman, knew how to drop box at defender's nest from the top, just like a hawk might do to its prey. More often would look like they were spreading on a floor. Hence you can say that the guy, Neman, was in a fashion of a hawk among the others. The shifty footwork and the uniqueness behind his crossovers were not just about showing off and dominating an opponent. They were about reading his opponent's footstep and calling the plays whenever he wanted. Williams' crossover made such an amazing effect because of the fusion between his big size and brilliant skills. 6'3" helped him to be inside defender while executing his moves, so it was very difficult for other players to make a decision of where his next move is going to be. The capability to beat the defenders on the control crossover is what made him one of the top point guards of his era. He was able to open up scoring opportunities for the team as well as himself. Number 5. Dwyane Wade, the Heat's crossover specialist. The greatness of Dwyane Wade is that he is an explosive athlete, and therefore the crowd expects him to deliver in critical circumstances. Shawn Kemp's crossover dribble resembled a deadly weapon, which he in turn used to take down defenses and bring out the best in him. A combination of Wade's quick footwork, which helped him to abruptly change the direction going at high speed, and his agility on the rim made him intimidating when it came to facing tight defense. The movement Wade used to shake the defenders was made up of a mesmerizing finesse and incredible power. He used to dance in front of stops and deceive them, and when they got tired, he had high-speed movements that knocked down defenders and went past. The crossovers of Dwyane Wade weren't simply about the ankle-breaker mode. They were about setting up the critical score in the much-pressured moments. Along with Wade's other achievements, the effectiveness of his crossover dribble resulted in the reverence of him as one of the NBA greatest shooting guards of all times. Number 4. Steve Nash, the maestro of the crossover. Steve Nash, he of the two-time NBA Most Valuable Player award, had an exceptional on-court vision and was very good at providing playmaking service to all his teammates. This crossover dribble is what completely defined his offensive game, as it allowed him to open up lanes and get the pass to his teammates when it was necessary to do so. Nash never wasted a step beyond that, finding the right moment and positioning to surprise opponents. Alongside his knowledge of soccer, Nash developed the ability to maneuver and adapt on the court with his basketball skills. Through his crossover doing, he meant more than just ankle breaking. He was passing and creating space for his mates. Because of the crossover, the way Nash would set up the offense was rivaled by few and made Nash one of the most respected point guards of the NBA league. Number 3. Chris Paul, the technician of the crossover. Chris Paul, a great shot caller among his generation, has a crossover dribble that draws from both technical virtuosity and imaginativeness. Paul excels in crossovers, which are a keystone of his game, enabling him to park through defensive traffic and locate the unguarded paths in the opposition. A perfect trinity of his blazing speed, excellent ball handling, and his innate talent to manipulate the game is truly a testimony of his mastery of his chosen art. Paul's transition as a player was not only about the rapidity and slyness, but more importantly, it was how he comprehended the subtleties of the space and took advantage of the opponent's deficiencies. He does well to utilize this type of crossover in order to get around his defenders, offering him the options of carrying out his signature nature of a potentially confusing dribble with his defenders. Paul has proven to be one of the finest crossovers in the NBA with his ability to execute the move on any professional defender. Number 2. Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba's crossover. Kobe Bryant, commemorated as the Black Mamba, is one of those players who had it all. He was a scoring machine, an amazing playmaker, a defender and rebounder. His crossover dribble was another quite one of the multi-purpose tools he had in his offensive campaign. Bryant dropped his shoulder and went right past his defender with lethal monkey because it also was connected with some other moves, and also Bryant came back with those moves. The crossover of Bryant is evidence of his systematic and purposeful style of play. He get familiar with his opponents to their limits and use his crossover to overcome their vulnerabilities. His ball handling skills, which could not be matched by anyone else in the league, coupled with the fact that he could score with authority using both the left and right hand, made him the most feared player in NBA history. Bryant's crossover dribble was the signature move that enabled him to become one of the best players in NBA. He was a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and an 18-time NBA All-Star. Number 1. Derrick Rose, the explosive crossover. One of Chicago Bulls star captains, Derrick Rose, was famous for his enormous athletic ability and no-fear attitude towards risk. It was his style of play, which was a crossover dribble, which was a portrayal of his amazing talents, thus blowing up the defenders and running into the rim with a lot of fervor. Rose going for a crossover was not just about cleverness, it was about uncaving the raw power and athletic sportsmanship. Rose's dribbling crossover was frequently the prompt for the wonders of his dashing head false step to the basket. Within a blink of an eye, he could change course and complete his move by either a dashed back dunk or a showing off layup. This dunk was so that in the air that defenders' feet hadn't moved. The Rose's agility, performance, and MVP title won him many fans' hearts and kept them craving for more. And that's it for this video. Please click the like and subscribe buttons down below if you found it useful. To make sure you don't miss any uploads, tap the bell icon, share the video, and comment down your thoughts. See you in the next one.